Today, we're going to be looking at a $10,000 gaming computer for October 2022. And the last time that I did one of these was August of 2016, so it has been quite a while. So stick around and enjoy how I would spend $10,000. Firstly, I'd like to take a minute to tell you what this computer can do. Realistically, you're going to be able to do almost anything you want with this computer due to the sheer amount of raw performance you are paying for. So kicking us off, we'll start with the CPU, and we went with the Intel Core i9-13900K. Now this is Intel's top-of-the-line consumer CPU, and I'll say consumer in air quotes because this CPU costs a whopping $1,099, which most consumers won't be spending on their whole system, and this price was unheard of even just a few short years ago unless you were purchasing Extreme Editions. But for your $1,099, you'll get 24 cores and 32 threads with a base clock of 3 GHz and a boost clock of 5.8 GHz. These cores are also split up into 8 performance cores and 16 efficiency cores, which allows you to get a lot more performance whilst sipping a fraction of the power. Speaking of power, this chip has a TDP of 125 watts, but a PL2 of 253 watts, so a good power supply and cooler will be required to tame this beast. Speaking of the CPU cooler, we're going with the top-of-the-line Corsair H170i Elite liquid cooler. This liquid cooler has a 420mm radiator that comes accompanied with 3 140mm fans to provide the most cooling performance possible. The fans on this cooler also have a 0 RPM mode, so if you aren't doing anything strenuous with your system, this cooler will actually be silent. Moreover, the CPU block of this cooler comes with a 480 by 480 pixel screen that you can tune to have almost whatever you want on it, including the temperature of your system. This cooler comes with all that and more for $499. But you know what's even cooler? Subscribing. We're going to need something to plug all of this into, so we went with the Asus ROG Maximus Z790 Hero motherboard. This is a premium ATX motherboard that comes with a suite of features including 2x2 Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, 2.5 gigabit LAN, DDR5 connectivity, 2 Thunderbolt ports, and up to 19 USB ports. This motherboard is the successor to the ever-popular ROG Maximus Z690 Hero and costs $1,199. For memory, we have gone with 32GB of Corsair Vengeance RGB. This is DDR5 memory with a speed of 5200 megatransfers per second, which is the highest speed that our processor and motherboard can take. So you aren't going to be getting any more performance in terms of speed. This RAM also has a cache latency of 40 and costs $589. For SSDs, yes, I said SSDs, we're going with 2 Corsair Force MP510 4TB M.2 SSDs. This will give us a total of 8 TB of capacity to work with, and I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to put these together in some kind of RAID setup to either double the performance or allow for redundancy, or if you just leave them to have a boot drive and a data drive. Let me know what you would do in the comments section down below. These SSDs have 3D TLC NAND flash, which allows read speeds of up to 3.5 GB per second and write speeds of up to 3 GB per second, and they cost $1,034 each or $2,068 for the pair. Now for my favourite part, the graphics card. In this build, we spared no expense with this component and went for the new top-of-the-line NVIDIA RTX 4090. For this build, we specifically went with the Gigabyte RTX 4090 Aorus Mastercard, which boasts all the features of the normal 4090, including 24GB of GDDR6X VRAM, DLSS 3.0, and the new Lovelace architecture. But with this card, you also have Gigabyte's amazing cooling system, dual BIOS chips, and strengthening backplates and support bars, which is definitely something you'll need because this card is heavy. This amazing new card comes in at $3,599. To power this whole build, we have selected the EVGA Supernova G1 Plus 2000 watt power supply. This power supply is fully modular and has enough capacity to handle high draw components we have selected for this build. This unit also comes with an 80 plus gold efficiency rating, which means that it is over 90% efficient at typical loads. This power supply also comes with a 10-year warranty and costs $499. Finally, to house this whole system, we have selected the Corsair iQ 7000X. This case comes with Corsair iQ, which is the same system as our cooler, so you will be able to synchronize your RGB setup. Speaking of the cooler, this case is also compatible with that Mammoth cooler we selected, as it's an ATX full tower case. This also means that it will have enough room for that RTX 4090 we have selected. This case also comes with a range of other features, including 12 fan mounting locations, options for vertical GPUs, easy cable routing options, and 4 USB 3 Type A ports, as well as 1 USB Type C port. This case comes in at $449. So that's our build, and if you were paying attention, we came in slightly over budget by $1. Yes, that's right, this build comes to a total cost of $10,001. So how will this PC do in games? Well, in Halo Infinite, you should expect an average frame rate of about 134 frames per second, with a 1% minimum of around 108 frames per second. In Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, you can expect an average frame rate of around 198 frames per second, and 1% minimums around 148 frames per second. In Far Cry 6, you can expect average frame rates of around 164 frames per second, and 1% minimums around 117 frames per second. And finally, in Cyberpunk 2077, you can expect an average frame rate of around 83 frames per second, and 1% minimums around 75 frames per second. So you have some very respectable 4K performance from this gaming computer that's almost as fast as smashing the like button. So that's it for today's $10,000 gaming computer. I hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure you check out the last $10,000 gaming computer here to see how far we have come. Please like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, leave a comment if you have anything to say about this video, share this video if you think someone else would enjoy it, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.